I promised I am going to show you how I created my file folder caddy, and this is for my travel notebook. And I used this in my new Chic Sparrow that if you watched the video about that, which I did before this video, I introduced the Chic Sparrow, and I mentioned this in that video, and I said I was going to do a tutorial. So this is the day and the video. So the finished project measures 4 1/4 by 6 1/2, and you could, you can actually, what's the word I want to use, adjust the measurements if you have a bigger journal. Don't mind this little punch over here. We're not going to use it. I just got it there so that I can know to stay in frame. I don't want to be like working off camera. So anyway, you can adjust the measurements to make yours bigger or smaller, and it's real easy. Oh, my nails are dirty. Excuse my nails. Didn't realize there must be some ink or something. So let's get started. I'm gonna put this aside. So for the cover, for this cover, you don't have to run out and buy these. You can use regular cardstock for this and add a tab. I just happened to find these file folder things that they put in drawers, and I found these at my thrift shop, and I said, oh, those would make some really nice journal covers. So I picked them up, and that's where this one came from. And I also used another one for this. So for the cover, I will have all the measurements below. Oh, excuse me. For the cover, you would need a piece of cardstock or a file folder, whatever you choose to use. The cover measures 8 3/4 this way and 9 1/4 the long way. And then you are gonna put this in your scoreboard, and you're gonna score it at 4 3/8 with this 8 3/4 up against your scoreboard, and you're gonna score it at 4 3/8, and then you're gonna turn it and lay it on your scoreboard this way, and then you're gonna measure 6 3/4, and you're gonna score it that way. And then if you're using like that, this is heavy duty, so I kind of manipulated mine and kind of did this thing, and for some reason this one at the bottom didn't line up perfectly, but that's okay. I really don't worry about that. So that's your cover. And then you're gonna glue the edges here and the edges here. What I did to get this, to make these pockets this way, what I did was fold it in half, and I took a ruler and I laid it down, and what I did was measure 1 inch, let me see, 1 inch from the fold, and put a little mark there. And then you could draw a line from this point to this point and then use your scissors. But what I did was just went to my paper cutter, laid it inside, and cut this edge. Real simple. You don't have to do yours like that, but I like the look of it. So now let's glue the pockets. And because this is a thicker material, I am going to use, whoops, some clips to hold it together while it dries. Just to, you know, just to give it some extra help to keep it closed. And the same on the other side. My glue's oozing out, but that's okay. You know, whoever discovered these binder clips, it was awesome because I love using them. Alright, so put that aside to dry for right now. And let's do the inside caddy pockets. Okay, so you're gonna need two, and this paper was from one of those other not a file folder, but it was like one of those, what do they call those folders that you know, you put your papers in. I got this at the Dollar Tree also, and I love the foxes on it. So the inner folders for the caddy, you will need, let's see, all right, they gotta measure 8 this way by 9 1/4 the long way. And then you're gonna put it in your scoreboard, and you're gonna score from this edge to here 4 inch, score 4 inches. And then you're gonna turn it and measure down 6 1/2, and you're gonna score. And then you can do the same thing as I told you with the cover. Measure 1 inch from this point over, and then you can, for 1 inch, mark your mark, and then you could draw a line, use scissors, or take it to your cutter and cut it off to make this. And so we're gonna glue, just like the cover, we're gonna glue the edges. Let me get some more clips. I should have had all these out before, especially when you're on camera. I need one more. Here we go. Okay, so let's glue those edges down. And like I said, I will have all the measurements below, even the papers, the size of paper you use to decorate everything with. You could use double-sided tape, but I always say, if you have pockets, I don't like to use the double-sided tape, because when you put things inside your pockets, it tends to stick to the double-sided tape. So I always recommend to use glue. So I'm going to put that one aside and get some more clips. Because, you know, you have like important papers maybe you have, and you know, you don't want your paid papers ruined, or say you make a nice tag or something, you don't want it ruined by pulling it out and it tears because it's stuck to the double-sided tape. So I don't use it on my pockets. I use it for mostly anything else because it's real easy and convenient to use it, but not for pockets. Alright, so now, okay, so let's see if these are dried enough. They look like they are. Okay, so my decorative pages, where did I put those? Alright, so for my outside cover, Now I decorated everything before I attached it. I'll show you how I attach things lastly. And okay, so for the outside, you're gonna need 2 pieces of whatever paper you decide to use, and the cover you need 4. I cut mine 4 inches by 6 1/4, and I left, you know, an edge around. And I just love this paper. I should have bought more when I could. I don't know if they have any more with the foxes, but they're really nice. But you can use any decorative paper. See, I use double tape on that. Now for the back, same thing. See, looks good. All right, so you know, my cover for right now for mine is blank, but you could actually put it on a pocket here. You could, you know, just decorate it, have fun with it. So now the inside up here, I use this kind of paper, which this paper I got at Michael's, and you know, the single sheets. And for the inside of the cover, you need it 4 by 4 1/4 pieces. And you could actually do it a little bit shorter here. I didn't, but all right. Michael's had a huge sale. I don't know if it's still going on, but they had tons of coupons for a lot of different things. And of course, I cannot turn down a coupon. I'm sure that's true for a lot of us. Even though we might not need something, it's like, oh, I gotta go get it because, you know, I might need it sometime. At least that's what I tell myself. And I have so much. I think I'm a craft hoarder, but don't tell anybody. It's our secret. I'm sure you ladies understand what I mean. Okay. Now, to cut your pieces here, because you have this weird angle, what I did was cut, because the pockets on mine, yours might be a little bit different size, but my pockets measure 2.5 by 4 1/4. So what I did, because I wanted a 1/4 inch, so I took a 1/4 inch off each. So it was 2 1/4 by 3 3/4 piece of paper. And then I did the same thing of how I got this angle. I just measured from the corner over and marked at 1 inch, and then I took it to my cutter and I angled it and cut it to get the angle just right, just like that. So now these could go down. I hope I explained that enough. Maybe I'll have to show you exactly what I mean. I'm going to do it from this side. I think that's crooked. Oh, dang. that's one thing. You gotta be careful with double-sided tape, because once you lay it down, you can't get it back off, you know? You have to be really careful when you lay that down. Alright, good enough. Alright, so that's the cover, making sure that I'm still on. Alright. So now, these, if you're using plain paper, of course you're going to want to put a cover on. But for me, I didn't do it because I am using these folders. So all I did was cut pieces for the inside on this. I think they go this way. So yeah, and those measure for the inside of those 2 1/4 by 4 inches. So I'm just gonna lay those down, and I'm watching my thing because it's almost out of time. For some reason, I just noticed that my camera shuts off after 20 minutes. I have to fix that. I don't know how it got there. Oh, I'm still in frame. You know, sometimes you play with a button to fix something else and you end up messing up something else. And I just noticed that it was at 20 minutes. Okay, so that's that one. Let's see if I got time before that shuts off. Yeah, I love this paper. They have a lot of nice single sheets. And if you're doing a project, like I have tons of paper, don't get me wrong, I have pads and pads of paper. But sometimes you're looking through and it's just like, nothing is like screaming out at you like, use me, use me. So you go to the store and you don't want to buy a whole pad of paper just because you like one sheet. So it's nice that they have some single sheets. And you know, if you're lucky enough, you can find something that you can use. Oh, come on. You know what I mean? Alright, so that's that. So now my decorative pages are all set. I'm going to put this. See how that, like, you could actually trim that down if you wanted. I should have trimmed it down. But because I don't want to run out of time, I won't be doing that. Let's see, how much more time do I got? I got about a minute. So I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to come back and we'll finish it. Alright, this is part 2. So we glued our pockets up. We put our decorative papers on. I actually went ahead because when I put the file folder inside the other file folder, it was hanging over. So I just went to my cutter and I trimmed it down. And I'm just going to redo my corners. Oops. Oops. Almost did the wrong side. Okay. So now they fit snug into one another. Okay. So now to attach it. I used some of this wax string that you can get where you get leather, products at Michael's. That's what I used. So what I do is I line up everything where I want it. Make sure it's really tight in there, and I put a clip. Ouch, that felt wonderful. I put a clip, turn it this way, make sure everything's snug in there, and I put another clip, and that kind of holds it together. So what I do is measure. So it's 6.5 inches. So I think I'm going to put it at 2 inches in, and then 2 inches in on the other side. 2 little holes. And what I use is, this is actually used for beads. You go, if the holes are got some things in it, you go in there and like kind of, I don't know, file it off. But I use it as a hole punch. Just be careful. You can use your you can either use one of these or you could use a hole punch. And I think I'm just gonna use this. Now you always like to work it around. Do it on the other one too. Just be careful you don't poke yourself. I've done that before and it hurts like you wouldn't believe. Alright, so there's your 2 holes. So then I take some wax string. You can use whatever you like. I kind of like, I don't know, maybe like 1.5 foot. I just do enough just to make sure I have enough to play with. And I want my tie inside, so I'm going to go in through the back. Put one side in one end, and then go in through the other hole. You know, you don't have to put yours together like this if you want to do a fancier thing. It's up to you. I just like to do the easiest thing. Did I say that on camera? Yes. The easy way out. No. I'm having trouble with this one. This side. For some reason. Go in. Go in. Alright. Where's that? So I might have to just go like this. Let's see if that helps. Yes, it did. Alright. So then pull both ends through. And you don't want it too tight, but tight enough. So I always pull it taut, and I put my finger there to hold the knot, and I just make a knot, pull tight, and then make one more, tie it one more time. Yes, this time I used a little bit too much string, but you can leave them long if you want to add beads to the end like that, but I usually don't, so I just cut it. That's even too long for me. And there you have it, all ready to put your stickers in, to decorate, put your tab. This tab was actually backwards because that's how some of the files are. It has the little hole on this side, but I'm going to put my tab on the outside and probably cover that. But anyway, so there you have it. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to comment below. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching. Like I say always, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Tell your friends. I'm going to try to have more videos up now that I'm not going to be swapping much. I want to work on my own things, and I want to do tutorials for you guys. So yeah, you will have a wonderful day, and as always, thank you for watching.